Welcome to part two of the Founding Mothers Red Tent Ceremony and Strike. My name is Greta Grace, and I will be your Mistress of Ceremonies today. I will begin by introducing Karuna, a member of the Founding Mothers Peace Room. Karuna ended part one of this celebration by playing her gong and holding the frequency of our full moon start. Today's program is a continuation of the Red Tent theme, a global call to action to our sisters around the world. Founding Mothers' simple yet sacred mission is to achieve universal rights for all women and to end war. As the founder of Red Tent Global, I am excited to learn about and join the Founding Mothers movement. The campaign we've built around the Red Tent is really close to my heart and to the womb of every woman. Red Tent Global's goal is to connect red tents for sisters around the world so that every woman, no matter where she is, has access to the wisdom, to the resources, to the connection and community and the rites of passage. We have never needed this more. In ancient times, the red tent was a respite for women and a break from everyday life. While in the Moon Lodge, the women could commune with each other, rest, and rejuvenate. Most importantly, the red tent provided women with a safe place to worship as they saw fit, including reverence to the divine feminine. In the book, The Red Tent, it's based on the story of Dinah, the daughter of Jacob in the Old Testament. Jacob was the grandson of Abraham, the first prophet of the Jewish and Muslim faiths. These men worshiped a new god, a male deity. They forbid women from worshiping the female goddesses, such as Isis and Ishtar. So the red tent symbolizes not only our sacred moon cycle, but also an era when male monotheism was anchored in the Middle East. This was when patriarchy took hold and most of the world lost the divine feminine. As lovingly depicted in our first ceremony, we also nearly lost the ancient Celtic female trinity, maiden, mother, and crone.
Wit, beloveds, today we honor the power of women from around our world. My Celtic ancestors came out of Ireland, England, and Germany around 800 BCE into Central Europe. The Celts were never a single empire, but rather a network of tribal societies that shared language roots, spiritual beliefs, and artistic expressions. There was deep reverence for women and the divine feminine in this matriarchal culture, and the themes of womanhood, sovereignty, and cyclical power are woven into myths, rituals, and spiritual traditions. My female ancestors had legal rights to property, inheritance, divorce, and civic leadership. They were warriors, community leaders, and they served as spiritual leaders, judges, healers, and oracles. There are so many revered and worshiped goddesses, and they represent the interconnectedness of all life and to honor the earth herself. I particularly cherish the Celtic triple goddesses as they represent the trinity of the full spectrum of feminine power. The triple goddesses have three aspects: the mother, the maiden, and the crone. And these aspects represent the stages of life, but also seasonal, lunar, and natural cycles. The maiden with youth, inspiration, beginning, springtime, and the waxing moon, the mother with nurturing, creation, abundance, summertime, and the full moon, and the crone with the heart of wisdom, transformation, endings, winter, and the waning moon. Each face of the goddess holds different powers, but together they form a wholeness that reflects the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So again, today we honor and celebrate the goddess in every woman. That's you. As we call forth the divine feminine within each of us, we rise into our own feminine power. The triple goddess calls you now. Come with me as we enter the sacred circle. We gather around the fire, out in the forest and under the full moon. Come join the ceremony of the triple goddess as the maiden and mother honored the crone. Welcome, one and all, and remember, as the goddess declares, all acts of love and pleasure are my ritual. Come, and so it is. Come.
Oh, grandmother, I honor your wisdom and your grace under fire, your power enshrouded in gentleness, your easy laughter, and your endless joy and simplicity. I sit at your knee, and you never reproach me. You honor my sacred youth. You teach me your traditions. You tell me your stories. And you invest in me your hope for the generations. You only demand love, an honor of all creation, and an acceptance of what is. You are magic, you are mystery, and you are love. You entrust in me a sacred covenant to carry your name, your words, and your works forward through the turning of the sacred wheel. Blessed be.
Oh, Mother, I honor your choices to be independent, to live your power, and to fly by night. You vibrate to the frequency of the earth, and you are attuned to the song of the universe. You embrace the darkness in the light. You teach me to love, to live into joy, and to create. You pass to me the power of magic, the knowledge to heal, and the mystery of the never-ending spiral dance. I carry your truth, your love, and your name, and your mystery forward through the turning of the sacred wheel. Blessed be.
Oh, my children, young and old, you hold the mystery of magic in your voice and in your soul. You are the future. Know who you are. Trust and honor your own wisdom, and know that I am with you. In your waking and in your dream time, I am with you. In your joy and in your grief, I am there. I am but in the next room, waiting for your summons. You will hear my whispers in the trees. You will hear my song in the wind. You will know my truth in your heart. I ride on the backs of boars. I fly on the wings of eagles, and I run with the wolves. It is I who draws the lightning into the palm of my hand. It is I who brings the fire to nurture the land. It is I who crashes the waves against the shore to refine the rocks into fine sand. I am in you, and you are in me always. I am love, you are love, we are love, and love powers the universe. Together, all things are possible, and all things manifest. The wheel of life turns in an
unending cycle.
We are born, we live, we die, and are born again. In this spiral dance, the message and the lesson is the gift. It is love. Merry meet and merry heart, and merry meet again. Blessed be.
At today's Red Tent rally, we have so many honored guests to support the work of the Founding Mothers movement, including the three women who performed our opening ceremony. Tezikiah Gabriel, her daughter Kelly, and her granddaughter Abigail. Tez is an ordained minister dedicated to making peace our lived reality. She also serves as executive director of Pathways to Peace, a United Nations peace messenger organization that holds consultative status with the UN Department of Global Communications and the UN Economic and Social Council. Through Gabriel Associates, Tez works with NGOs to create relevant and sustainable organizations with the capacity to implement positive change. Next, we will hear from our speaker, Dr. Riane Eisler. Her groundbreaking book, The Chalice and the Blade, provides historical and anthropological evidence of the tragic transition to the domination culture fictionized in the Red Tent. Dr. Eisler, president of the Center for Partnership Systems, and is editor-in-chief of the Interdisciplinary Journal of Partnership Studies, which guides partnership models around the world. She is the only woman listed in the book Macrohistory and Macrohistorians in recognition of the lasting importance of her work as a cultural historian and evolutionary theorist. In the book, The Great Peacemakers, she is listed as one of the 20 most prominent world peace leaders, along with Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and Martin Luther King. Due to her immense body of work, Dr. Eisler has received many honors, including Nuclear Age Peace Leadership Award and Feminist Pioneer Award. In her life's work provides an accurate perspective on humanity's past, present, and future possibilities. Today, Dr. Eisler joins us to share her thoughts on the new social and political agenda that is emerging. It is a great honor to have her with us today.
It's a pleasure to be with you here today to talk with you about partnership, because that's our future. And it all starts with consciousness. We have to envision our future, a better future, not blame and shame. And this requires really focusing on root causes rather than only symptoms. And yes, as this red tent meeting and symbolism shows, we absolutely must take gender into account. It is one of the 4 cornerstones. Now, these cornerstones come out of a whole systems analysis, and that's what we need. We have to connect the dots. The first one is family and childhood. You know, we first learn our socialization for these rigid gender roles. You know, men are this way, women are that way. And yes, we learn that one is superior to the other in our families. Neuroscience shows this. So does my latest book, Nurturing Our Humanity, which came out with Oxford University Press in 2019. We must understand that nothing less than our brains are at issue when in the first years of life, and they take place mostly in families. So we are, by the way, I'm happy to say that the mothers are supporting this. We are having a virtual summit on connecting the dots between family violence, because it is violence in the family, and the violence of war, of terrorism, of crime, and you're all invited to it. But all of the cornerstones are related. And as I said, the second cornerstone, which is also marginalized by conventional thinking, is gender. What do children really learn when they grow up in a family where, well, the domination model for family is that it will be ruled by the male head of household. And the 2 basic forms of humanity, the male form and the female form, and of course everybody in between, these are rigid stereotypes in the domination system, but they're much more fluid in a partnership system. And in a partnership system, we do not learn to equate difference, beginning with the difference between the in-group of mankind and the female other, with superiority or inferiority, with dominating or being dominated, with being served or serving. And this takes us to the third cornerstone, which is economics. They're all connected. Think about it. Both Smith and Marx came out of more rigid domination times, just as our conventional right, left, religious, secular, Eastern, Western, Northern, Southern, capitalist, socialist, social classifications came out of more rigid times. And both of these men saw the work of caring to be performed, something that had to be performed by a woman for free in a male-controlled household. And GDP perpetuates this, even extending it to our Mother Earth, to our natural environment, so that a tree is only part of GDP when it's dead, when it's a log. Which takes me to the 4th cornerstone. And again, they're all connected. The 4th cornerstone is story and language. We've been told so many false stories, like original sin and selfish genes. They fight one another, but it's the same story. We are bad. We have to be rigidly controlled from the top, as in God-fearing. So here, and also language. I mean, I had to coin new language. The difference between hierarchies of domination, we all know this based on fear, and hierarchies of actualization that are empowering. And the term empowering is really part of the trends towards partnership, as is the women's movement, as is the children's rights movement, as is the environmental movement, as is the anti-racism movement. We have to start connecting the dots. So thank you. And I love the work you're doing.
Thank you, Riane, for expanding on the root causes of the domination worldview and the solutions that will help us achieve a gender balancing society, a goal shared by the founding mothers. And yes, the new story of partnership and peace will require a global reset. Past cultures have followed this advice, as in the case of the ancient Jubilee. In the Jewish tradition, Jubilee was observed every 50 years, and it was a time of liberation, restoration, and renewal. Slaves were freed, debts were forgiven, and land was returned to their original owners. So Jubilee provided a redistribution of resources and a fresh start for the community, exactly what we need now. To expand on this theme, grandmother Ejna Fleury will speak next. Ejna is a member of the Peace Room, the Founding Mothers Executive Team. She also serves as the first peace ambassador of the Crow Creek Tribe of South Dakota. Welcome, Grandmother Ejna.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. And thank you, Riane. That was just so inspiring. We get more information about the historical roots of how things are now. But I'm here to talk about Jubilee. And I don't know if you know this, but this is a Jubilee year. So what does that mean? What can it mean? And what should it mean? And it's my great privilege and honor to delve into the spirit of Jubilee. As was mentioned, within some Judeo-Christian traditions, we have made Jubilee into an aspect of forgiveness and celebration. This is important. The forgiveness. Forgiveness is so full of grace and kindness, love, generosity, connection, tenderness, redemption, purification, fulfillment. Forgiveness is rooted in joy. It brings you to joy. I did meet a South African man last year who led a guerrilla band in massacres of whole villages in South Africa. And he cried as he told this story. We all cried as we listened. And his change of heart has led him to great acts of love, including talking with us. And this man truly has passed through the valley of the deep pain and suffering on this journey. And I asked him about forgiveness. He so humbly shared that he is still learning to forgive himself. So forgiveness is a deep process in our journey to holiness. So we have this whole year to forgive. And even if Jubilee, every Jubilee is once every 50 years or 25 years, what is important is that all the debts, the crimes, the slanders, the return of land, the forgiveness of wrongdoings. What a notion. What a notion. So the Founding Mothers movement chose to celebrate and focus on the spirit of Jubilee, the great holy act that it is, the great gift, the great pearl beyond price, and the treasuring of ourselves, to deeply let go and let bygones truly and deeply be bygones. What a journey we're on. So this whole year is Jubilee, and we have opened the door. So let's all move forward in forgiveness, person by person, inside of ourselves, even right here, family by family, village by village. Our hearts will grow, and love can flourish and be blossomed and burst forth even more. We can truly be happy as we allow our love to grow. We engender and plant and grow and water more love into jubilation. So Founding Mothers movement is moving forward in the spirit of Jubilee. So let's move our whole family forward in Jubilee. Love is Jubilee. Thank you.
One seed is all it takes to grow a forest. One candle can fill a dark room. One voice is enough, speaking words of love. Each moment becomes what we choose. So do you want a new world? A world that works for everyone? Just open your mind, maybe you'll see. We can become a new world with Mother Earth circling the sun. She's waiting for you and for me to be the new. Our dreams light a path for us to walk on. Our songs keep our spirits alive. And each little child helps remind us why we not only might, we must thrive. So do you want a new world? A world that works for everyone? Then open your heart and you will see. We can become a new world with Mother Earth circling the sun. She's waiting for you and for me to be the new world. With just that thought, it has begun. And don't you want to see a new world? A world that works for everyone. Then open your life and you can be the coming of the new world with Mother Earth circling the sun. She's waiting for you and for me to be the new world. Be the new world, the new world, the new world, a new
Yes, we are ready for a new world, and we are so grateful to Leah Morris for writing and performing this song for the Founding Mothers. Next, we will hear from Amara Fantl, a high school student who is helping to build the new world. At the tender age of 17, she has committed herself to serving the world by creating spaces for more joy to exist. Amara has started a sexual assault reform organization, and she also works with Tez at Pathways to Peace, and she has interned at the United Nations. Amara is excited to build a world where more people feel safe and can truly access and celebrate a sense of community, inner joy, and love.
Good evening. My name is Amara Fantl, and I'm a 17-year-old here in Colorado. Unfortunately, I couldn't be with you today as my brother is graduating, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about experiencing the menstrual cycle at a young age and the culture I see around it. So, as a young woman, I've always seen my girlfriends hide their tampon when they need to go to bathrooms during class, desperate not to let anyone see that they were bleeding. They would rip open the package quietly as possible and pray that nobody heard, as if 25% of the rest of the bathroom wasn't in the exact same boat. If I try to bring up my period at school, people look at me shocked or try to change the subject. And when I was on my period before, my ex-boyfriend would tell me that he would talk to me in 5 days. And all his male friends at school would blame any behaviors that were their problem on women because they were needy or because they were on their period or it was that time of the month. And mind you, I'm 17, and so was my boyfriend. So imagine in a culture where periods are so taboo, what will happen to these boys in 10, 20 years down the line when their opinions are continuously perpetuated. And I think this is where a lot of violence and prejudice comes from. And it's ridiculous. Women are strong and they are no less powerful in their periods. Our cycles do not define our actions, and they should never be used as a weapon to harm our reputation or take away our control. Our natural body process should not be used as a tool of shame. The thing is, I think people aren't born ashamed. They become that way when they're taught that something about them is wrong. For so long, I think we've decided as a culture to make periods disgusting. We've decided there's something to downplay, to ignore, to pretend it's not existentially evident in 50% of the people across the world in their daily lives. Because it's not just our period, it's our whole cycle. I think we need to make a large cultural shift, and as immediately as possible. We need to stop seeing periods as something that hinders us. Instead, have a kind of a hot take, we need to see it as a tool for what I think is the most important thing in life, and that is joy. So since I was young, I've been kind of obsessed with joy, especially the joy in things we regularly complain about. When it rains, I like to jump in the puddles. When my car breaks down, instead of being angry, I like to see it as a sign from the universe that it's time to take a pause, step outside, enjoy the sunshine for a moment. Most of the time, at least. And when my room wasn't ready on vacation one time, I didn't get huffy. My mom and I instead put on some jamming Bob Marley music and learned how to salsa dance together. We weren't very good, but we created a core memory and met a lovely bellhop who taught us how to tango. And that's because we chose joy in an experience where joy wasn't the expected response. And I think we can turn anything into joy, and that includes our period. Instead of getting upset or angry because we find our mood changing during different times of our cycle, I say we embrace it and let it be kind of fun, almost. Because of the cycle, we get to stay out of stagnation. We're constantly getting to experience new things, new emotions, and I think this is pretty cool. Instead of feeling trapped in ourselves constantly, I think our period lets us morph as our weeks and months go on. We get to connect to the lifeblood within us that gives us immense power to create new life, and I think there's so much joy in that fact if we let ourselves experience it. Really, I think that at the end of the day, our cycle is not going to change. Women have always had our periods, and we will always have our periods. So why are we getting so angry about something that's not in our control? Why are we making women feel ashamed for something that they have no power over? The only thing that I think that we have the capacity to do is to control our own reactions. We are in charge of our own happiness. But I say, for the sake of girls everywhere, that we take back the power of our period and teach girls that it is part of life and not a bad part. Teach girls that they'll see their emotions change throughout a month and that it can be exciting. Show girls how to experience this joy not only in our periods but in our life. I think that we're often so suppressed and we're told that we just need to get through life and get through the hard things so we can figure out the joyful things. I don't think that's true. I think that life is joyful if we let it be joyful. And that's something that I really want to impress on people at a young age. It's something that I'm so grateful to have learned, but it's not something that everyone experiences. And I know not everyone has it easy, and it's hard for a lot of people. But I think if we can start shifting things to look at this from a joyful perspective, we can take back our power as women and take back our joy in being and existing. Thank you so much for having me here today. And I hope that going forward, you remember something. You remember to encourage joy, to live through joy, and to love one another every day. I love this quote, and it says that love one or two things, find joy in one or two things. The rest is all confetti.
Wow. Our next speaker is Julia Middleton, best-selling author of If That's Leading, I'm In, and Leading Beyond Authority. In 2021, she founded Women Emerging, a nonprofit focused on female leadership. She also served for 30 years as the chief executive of Common Purpose, a leadership development organization. Julia sits on globally diverse boards and councils, such as Synapse in Pakistan, Fundação Dom Cabral in Brazil, Alfanar Venture Philanthropy in the Middle East, and Aurora Prize in Armenia. She is deeply committed to helping people from all backgrounds develop as leaders, and we are honored to have her today with us.
Let us lead our way, like the mothers that we are. About 2 years ago, I led the first Women Emerging expedition with 24 women from across the world, and we were out to find over a year an approach to leading that resonated with women. What triggered me to be part of this was doing too many speeches on programs for women leading, where you would finish the speech and asked to see the reading list. And the reading list would always be books written by men or books written by women on how to lead in a man's world. And then I'd do a talk for young women in universities, and they'd tell me that they didn't want to lead because what they saw about leading all around them was not even remotely attractive to them. So we explored over a year. We spoke to thousands of women. And at the end, we met at that extraordinary Rockefeller Palace in Italy, Bellagio, and came to a rather obvious conclusion, which was that there is no one way to lead for women. There are individual women all over the world who lead in different ways. But what we'd do is invite them to go on their own expeditions. We'd capture what we'd learnt on our first and offer it to them. And we'd create a hub, a free online hub, so that everything that we learned on all the expeditions would be there for masses of women all over the world to search using AI. And since then, we've never looked back. It's been glorious watching expeditions launch everywhere, all over the world. So what did we discover on that first expedition? Well, the first thing was that we don't want to be leaders. Leaders are static, hierarchical positions. You get to them and then maintain yourself in them. We don't want, so many women say, I'm not a leader, but they will say, I do lead. I'm really happy to engage with the verb, to lead, the moving, the energy, the shape, the activity, the verb of leading, not the noun the hierarchy, the status of being a leader. The other things that we handed on, I think, we sort of described them as the 4 E's. Firstly, we were absolutely clear that to lead, you have to understand your essence and how your essence influences how you lead. Whether in your essence is how you're educated, or your relationship with your body, or what you hold sacred, or your ancestors, all that influences how you lead. And one of your bits of essence is your motherness. Now, we called it motherness. Why? Because we thought that we all have motherness in us, whether we have birthed children or not. So we wanted to sort of break away from motherhood, and we created the word motherness. So essence, and understanding your essence, and understanding how it influences how you lead, and what elements it sort of triggers in you. Each bit of essence produces bits that make you better at leading and make it hard for you to lead. One of the really common elements that comes from so many bits in our essence is the need for all of us to feel that we have to be good girls. And that gets in the way of our leading, doesn't it? And motherness, that produces all kinds of essences and elements. And everybody always talks about, motherness, it produces empathy. Well, it doesn't just produce empathy, does it? It produces fierceness too. When I think of the teenagers I woke up and got out of bed early in the morning, it wasn't empathy that got them out of bed. It was my fierceness. So essence and elements, and then how you express, how you lead, and make sure that how you express it does not become divorced from your essence and your elements. And then I suppose the big discovery for all of us is that ultimately leading is about generating and releasing energy, the 4th E. Generating energy within yourself, generating energy within others, and generating energy in the very air around us. It was those 4 E's that we've handed on, and watched different women on different expeditions in different parts of the world use those 4 E's to discover, by exploring, their own way to lead, what works for them, because how you lead is individual. And as a result, we're watching women begin to lead more. And to lead more in a difficult world that needs us all to lead so much, and to lead in our own way.
Thank you, Julia, for your inspirational words and empowering body of work. We share your vision of a world with women in every boardroom, every legislature, and at top tiers of leadership in all sectors of society. Next, we have a special ceremonial message from Brooke Medicine Eagle, a revered Indigenous wisdom keeper and shamanic practitioner. Through her ceremonies, songs, and healings, she serves as a catalyst for wholeness. Grandmother Brooke is the author of literary classics, The Last Ghost Dance, and Buffalo Woman Comes Singing. Her teachings, music, writings, and wilderness spiritual retreats have touched the hearts and minds of people worldwide. Decades ago, she brought forward ancient Indigenous moontime traditions and other women's mysteries. Her work with white buffalo women gives foundation to the power and magic of the feminine. Today, she continues to strongly support healthy menstrual practices for women's mind, body, and spirit.
Hello, and blessings to each of you. I'm joyous to bring you powerful information about what, in Indigenous way, we call moon time, since all natural women have our bleeding time following the cycle of the moon. So let me take you to the beginning of our mysterious and amazing power and how it can be used to benefit all our relations. You might want to even close your eyes for the journey. In the beginning, there was nothing. No material thing existed. What was there was this great, deep void in which rested the dreams, the seeds, the eggs of potential for everything that could ever be in the material realm. This plush, dark void is the womb of the primary feminine, the Great Mother, and it is love. Then out of nothing, the Great Mother Love called the Father Light. When they joined, a passionate outpouring of creation began, and universe after universe, star system after star system, and material reality came to be. At that same time, before you had a name, the Great Mother called you into being, giving you eternal life, and sent you forth into the material world where you've journeyed and learned over time, over vast time. Now you've come here to this beautiful earth in a time of great need, when we humans are creating a horrible extinction, which will include ourselves unless we come into harmonious life ways very quickly. Thinking of addressing this crisis, I want to remind you of a most wonderful thing given you by the Great Mother as you chose a female body. A womb of creation like hers. A miniature womb through which life and richness is brought into the material world. It is the big magic in human form. As a woman, especially a caretaker of children, one is on duty 24/7, in addition to all the other work and home life she handles, and absolutely needs to have a way to rest and renew. Primary and Indigenous women understood that Great Mother gave us 4 days off, 4 days in our beautiful moon lodges at the dark of the moon, when natural women, meaning women who have their eyes in the moonlight to trigger it, when natural women begin to bleed. All the bleeding women and moonpaws, or menopausal women, gathered each month in that sacred lodge. The first 2 days were for rest, renewal, rejuvenation, so much needed for the health of all women, especially in the intense and fast-paced world of today. So those first 2 days were for that much needed renewal. Then the last 2 days were given to total and deep meditation, where the women went deep into their connection with the Great Mother, the source of all things, and asked what they could bring forth for their people. The veil between humans and the great mystery, the source of life, is thinnest when women sit together, bleeding at the dark of the moon. I'm going to say that again. The veil between humans and the great mystery, the source of life, is thinnest when women sit together, bleeding at the dark of the moon. Then these moon women emerged after this monthly vision quest with discoveries and ideas, intuition, creativity, whether a new way to make a basket, a special way to heal with an herb, or a prophecy about a difficult winter ahead. All of it served the people. In this way, all women were developed as deeply spiritual and profoundly wise, where the men did perhaps 4 vision quests at puberty and a few more at will. A young woman would do 13 in her first year of bleeding, 26 by the second, 39 4-day quests by the third, 52 for the fourth, 65, 78, 91 4-day experiences of deep visioning before she was even 20 years old. All done sitting with wise women who had vision quested thousands of times in this sacred lodge. And since the dark moon comes at the same time all around the earth, women everywhere at the same time were in their moon lodges praying and bringing forth wisdom. Now that is women's power. The highly developed wisdom women, elders of the tribe, became the greatest richness and guidance of the people, choosing the chiefs and guiding the way for taking care of their people and taking care of all things. For at menopause, their dedication becomes to take care of not just the children around one's skirts, but the children of all life, a sacred ecology in practice. In this time of great challenge, the kind of wisdom and guidance, that kind of wisdom and guidance is what we need to find true, workable, and lasting solutions to the critical issues facing us on Earth. To bring them from the great source, bring them through our wombs and our hearts from the great source of life itself. This is our greatest gift as females. And as we come into the time, the awakening time of the feminine, we must find our way back to that profound connection with the great mother source of life in service of all our relations. I'd love to share more with you over time. Thank you so much. Aho, mitaukiasen. Aye.
Thank you, Grandmother Brooke, for that amazing message of unity and consciousness and feminine power. May all 4 billion of our sisters join us in this sacred intention for gender equality and for planetary peace. Now we want to highlight the courageous work of 2 amazing sisters who live at the front line of misogyny and war and showing this type of determination is Khatema and Mahbooba Fayez. These were born and raised in Afghanistan during the ghastly reign of the Taliban. They escaped to Pakistan and opened MEHR, a women's school that still faces onerous religious oppression. Currently, the sisters are on the run due to the conflict between Pakistan and India. And as a result, they could not be here with us today, but they did make a video we wish to play. Both Khatema and Mahbooba are delegates in the Global Women's Congress. We honor them, we cherish them, and we pray for their safety.
The vision of MEHR Group is to show the world that being a girl is not a crime, and to lead the way in global women's leadership. We stand for change, fully committed to this movement, and believe that education is the path to achieving our goals. With over 300 students, all mothers, we understand that educated mothers are powerful leaders within their families. When a mother guides her children, she not only shapes the future, but has the potential to impact 5 generations. Empowered mothers create empowered children who go on to positively shape society. Our students are divided into groups of 5 to discuss the importance of literacy and awareness, support each other in their studies, and to learn the value of collaboration, friendship, and mutual support. Together, they encourage their children to value learning. We are not mothers. I'm not a mother, but we want to lead the world with a vision of mothers. We stand to change this circumstance for women in Afghanistan and the world. Through this, we needed to face the challenges that arise from advocating for change in a society where a girl's voice is often suppressed. Gathering help us to overcome limiting beliefs and work together more effectively. Women should have meaningful participation in the world, means physical presence, voice, decision, and action. Therefore, we invite all the strong women and men of the world, from the authors of Strong Girls in Afghanistan, who have been deprived of education, work, and freedom for more than thousands of days, to join founding mothers movement. Let's lead the world according to our human will. Let's shape our future as we want. With female leadership, we can show hope, love, peace, mutual acceptance in the world that no girl thinks of simple human dream like going to school. Instead, think of leading the world, empowering human, and create a peaceful life. We can make the best for ourselves.
Our last speaker today is Reverend Laura George, JD, who represents the justice and governance sector in the Founding Mothers Peace Room. After 9/11, Laura retired as an attorney and founded the Oracle Institute, a charity and think tank that studies the nexus between religion, politics, human rights, and conscious evolution. Oracle is headquartered at the Peace Pentagon, a training and retreat center located along the ancient New River, the oldest river in the Western Hemisphere. At this sacred site, Laura oversees Oracle's publishing house, spirituality school, and global peace practice dedicated to the Founding Mothers movement. Laura also serves as lead minister at Oracle Temple, an esoteric church devoted to the divine feminine and masculine. And she's authored the award-winning Oracle trilogy, The Truth, the Love, and the Light.
Hello, sisters and brothers, and thank you for being with us today for the Red Tent Full Strike closing celebration. The Founding Mothers movement launched last year with two vitally important goals: equal rights for all women, including reproductive freedom, and ending war. These two goals are existentially imperative for the continuation of the human race. Yet women continue to face oppression and persecution. Wars still rage in many parts of the world. Nevertheless, brave women like Khatema and Mahbooba, who started the Mayor Women's School in Pakistan, persist in their attempts to gain inherent rights. After fleeing Afghanistan, Khatema and Mahbooba now have been forced to evacuate their enclave in Pakistan due to the current conflict with India. When will this insanity end? We reignited the Global Women's Congress so that women around the world could come together in a secure venue and co-create a nonviolent strategy to end the madness. Notably, our Congress includes delegates from Palestine and Ukraine, where wars continue due to the perversion of patriarchy and the dementia of domination. The genocide in Gaza is a throwback to a time when tribal people killed in the name of their gods. In truth, Muslims and Jews are blood brothers. Both Judaism and Islam trace their roots to the sons of Abraham. Isaac spread the Jewish line and Ishmael the Muslim line. Yet we bear witness to blood brothers massacring each other. After a week of celebrating the blood bond that all women share, we demand that these men cease their barbaric behavior. Israel is using food as a weapon of war. Trucks full of food are at the Gaza border, ready to enter, yet the genocide continues. As wise women, we understand what is at stake. As world citizens, we comprehend the gravity of the moment. We are living in the 21st century, but we still suffer at the hands of those who use violence to address conflict and tools of oppression to silence women. The Founding Mothers movement was formed to unify all 4 billion of our sisters and the men who support us. We stand for life and the continuation of the human experiment. This week, the American tech billionaires were in Saudi Arabia to double down on artificial intelligence. And the result? The male monarchy of Saudi Arabia is investing $10 billion in AI, while the US Defense Department has budgeted $25 billion for AI in 2025. Speaking of 2025, let us be ever mindful of the ominous plan by that name. Project 2025 is not just an American nightmare. It is a global attack on freedom, democracy, and women. The Founding Mothers are watching all these developments. Sadly, it is clear that the progressive paradigm shift of the 20th century has reversed course. In fact, we are losing liberties on a daily basis all around the world. Synchronously, Harvard University Law School found a copy of the Magna Carta this week. It dates back to the 1300s. The Magna Carta established the concept that kings must answer to the law, and it is the source of all later due process rights. Project 2025 is a well-organized global strategy to reverse the meaning of the Magna Carta and reinstall a few select men as planetary patriarchs. We cannot let this happen. We will not let this happen. We are founding mothers of the new world, a world that works for everyone and ensures future generations the right to self-determination and self-actualization. In the face of lies, hatred, and darkness, the Founding Mothers stand for truth, love, and light. All our Red 10 speakers have evoked truth, love, and light in their profound talks and the soulful ceremonies they've provided us. They've also spoken of the need for feminine wisdom at this critical time and the tragic loss of the divine feminine during the last paradigm shift. Please realize that it has taken us nearly 2,000 years to regain the right to even speak of the Holy Mother without being branded witches and heretics. So I ask again, how can women be equal on the earth plane if God is a man in the ethereal plane? And I will give you the same answer I gave during our Red Tent opening broadcast. Women will never be respected as long as the mother of all is disrespected. This is the sacred symbolism behind our Red Tent campaign. We will not submit to the domination culture that Riane Eisler has spent her life studying, dissecting, and disassembling. We will not forget the fierceness Marianne Williamson spoke about, the mother instinct that shouts no when our children are threatened. We will not permit men addicted to power and money to take over Mother Earth and reduce humanity to peasants or NPCs in a dystopian virtual reality game. Instead, the Founding Mothers will resurrect the powerful female archetypes that dark and deadly forces attempted to wipe from our memories. The priestess, the oracle, the protectrix, and the creatrix. And we will grow our numbers, our strength, our resolve. Never before in recorded history have women led a paradigm shift. Never before have we possessed the power to chart a new course for humanity. We possess that power now, if we choose to use it. This is the goal of the Founding Mothers movement, to unify and tap the invincible energy of our sisters. And we have a strategic plan to get us there, starting with the reimagined and reactivated Global Women's Congress. The Congress meets the first Saturday of every month in a secure venue. It serves as a hub to co-create and coordinate a plan for our collective future. And it serves as the heart of our movement, which now has over 130 partners around the world. In this way, the Congress constitutes both a centralized venue for strategic decision-making, plus a decentralized network of active and allied coalition partners. Most of the movements of the 21st century have failed due to a lack of planning and leadership. Totally decentralized movements like Occupy fail because they lack strategic planning, clear demands, and laser focus. Collaborative forums like our Women's Congress provide the central axis needed for movement building. For example, by our third session of Congress, we were deliberating a draft of our Founding Mothers Proclamation, which was crafted by 7 international female attorneys. The proclamation has 2 parts that mirror our goals. First, our demands for universal women's rights, and second, our solutions on how to achieve planetary peace. We ask all women watching this broadcast to visit foundingmothers.world, read our mission page, and learn about the Global Women's Congress. Please also visit our YouTube channel and social media pages. Then please join the movement and invite your friends and colleagues to join as well. We also hope that you'll take this weekend to host or attend a red tent in your neighborhood. And if there is a girl in your life who's approaching or recently started to menstruate, invite her into the red tent, envelop her with love, and ensure she is welcomed into womanhood with immense care and a deep sense of community. Lastly, the Red Tent campaign is the 3rd call to action by the Founding Mothers. We also want to make you aware of our first 2 campaigns, which together convey the uniqueness of our movement and our thoughtful approach to movement building. On New Year's Day, we launched our first campaign, the weekly Worldwide Wake Up. This is an ongoing campaign where we make good noise every Wednesday at noon in every time zone. Our intent is to herald the arrival of the Founding Mothers and to awaken the world to a higher collective consciousness. On March 8th, International Women's Day, we launched Founding Mothers Rising, a campaign that includes a petition at avaz.org. Both of these direct actions are accessible at our homepage at foundingmothers.world. Thank you so much for being with us today. And we wish to express our deep gratitude to all the speakers and performers who made our Red Tent campaign a rich and deeply moving experience. If you have questions about the Founding Mothers movement, you can email the Peace Room at congress@foundingmothers.world. May we all live in a world founded on truth, love, and light. Om Jai.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for participating in the Founding Mothers Movement Red Tent Jubilee and Strike. And although we are closing this time together, we are continuing our loving action to establish peace and equality on our beloved earth. So please join us in this closing ceremony. Beloved Creator, Source, Great Mystery, Masters of Creation, and our beloved Mother Earth, our Gaia, Pachamama, Unchimaka, all the names we give to you in our beloved honoring of you. We call upon you, our ancestors, and we thank you all for your presence in our hearts and our lives, and the constant inspiration to bring loving action for our continued awakening, our continued healing, and movement into establishing peace, deep, lasting, and joyous peace on our beloved earth. We want to thank and close the 4 directions using the guidance given by the great medicine man Fool's Crow in 1972.
Mujeres del Este, de la Carpa Roja, damos las gracias, nos unimos a dar el cierre de esta actividad tan hermosa, de esta actividad de amor, de mujeres del amor, mujeres abuelas, mujeres de cambio, mujeres de lucha por la paz. Este día tan hermoso que tuve el privilegio de ver mujeres orando en la carpa roja y cómo la energía de ellas invadía todo el lugar. Se sentía su energía vibrar en todo el patio donde se encontraba la carpa roja, en el hogar, y las mujeres que llegaron a este hogar vieron la energía de estas mujeres. Entonces es como ejemplo de estas grandes mujeres que estuvieron orando. Nos unimos también a ellas y a todas las mujeres del mundo para decir gracias. Gracias por esta oportunidad que se tuvo de oración por la paz. Gracias por esta oportunidad para poder gritar ese alto, ese para por favor de masacrar a nuestros niños, para por favor de masacrar nuestra tierra, nuestro alimento, nuestra vida. Para, sistema para, ambición para. Que esta semana nos dé la oportunidad de volver a unir nuestros vientres, nuestros corazones, corazones de abuela para seguir luchando por la paz del mundo. Amén.
And we turn now to Molly McGettigan Arthur, who will be thanking the South and the color white.
From the South, the warmth and the sun and the beauty that enables the blossoming of the flowers, the growing of the seeds, the greenery that shelters the beauty of our world and represents such fertile harvest to feed mothers and babies and grandmothers. Thank you for this week of gathering, of honoring women in all stages of their lives. The red tent is a powerful, beautiful witnessing of women and the respect that is due them and their life-giving capabilities. And the beautiful fertilization and growth that women produce within nature and within their families and their lives. Thank you for being with us this week. Amen.
And we turn now to the West with our beloved Mutima Imani, who will be representing the color black of the West.
With great joy and excitement, we have been on strike. We have been deep into our own souls, knowing that it is us who has the answer to equality. We've called forth a healing for the womb, a love for the dark place where seeds are planted. We've planted seeds of hope, of courage, of love. We've raised our consciousness by saying, no more. Thank you for hearing our cries. Thank you for cleansing our anger. Thank you for healing our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. This is not the ending. It's the beginning of understanding that each day when the sun sets and darkness ascends, we can be renewed by the renewing of our minds and the connecting of hearts all around the world. Thank you for the protection, for the love, for the guidance. Thank you, Great Spirit. Oh, Great Mother. Thank you. Amen.
We turn now to the north from our beloved Tulaya Ponperiyokulchai, who will be representing the color yellow of the north.
Folded hands and hearts laid bare. We close this circle with deep, deep gratitude. May the blessings summoned here ripple outward into our thoughts, into our words, into our deeds. May the wisdom of the ancestors guide our steps as we walk the path of beauty, truth, and right action. May the golden radiance continue to illuminate our path, our mind, our eyes, our ears, our inner sanctum, and our shared earth. And may each of us carry forth this flame of true north, a quiet beacon of devotion and wisdom in motion. The seen and unseen to the one within all, may we go forward, firm in love, rooted in remembrance, and radiant with grace. Allow me to offer this prayer of divine feminine to you. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah. Kali Durga Namo Namah.
Thank you, beloved Creator, brilliant star nations, and beloved Earth, and treasured ancestors in all of the forces of healing and light and the evolutionary thrust of these times. Thank you for being with us throughout this week. And though we are closed this Red Tent week, we invite your continued presence to walk with us, guide us, continuing to inspire us, heal us, grow us, blossom us forth, that we may fulfill the great mission of these times, to bring the great peace to planet Earth, to bring the great peace to planet Earth.